A British football player is in hospital after being seriously injured in a one-punch attack that left him in a coma in Australia. Danny Hodgson, who moved to the country from the UK when he was 18 to play club football, was struck on the back of the head on Saturday night while walking home in Perth. The 25-year-old's parents are pleading for 2 plane tickets to Australia so they can see their son in hospital, as the country's strict COVID border controls leave them in a desperate situation. Nicola Hodgson, from Cleatormore, Cumbria, said her family are trying everything they can to see Danny, who first moved to Australia to play football for Kingsway SC when he was 18 before later playing for ECU Joondalup. The 25-year-old was walking home on Saturday night after spending time with his football team when he was jumped by another man in an unprovoked attack. Danny was struck on the back of the head, leaving him with severe head injuries. The footballer was left for dead before being found and rushed to Royal Perth Hospital for emergency surgery due to bleeding to the brain and a brain fracture. Danny then took a turn for the worse the following day when he suffered a severe brain hemorrhage, requiring more surgery. The Brit is now in an induced coma that could last for weeks or even months, with his distraught parents desperate to be by his side. Danny's family are now struggling to secure a flight to green list destination Australia due to strict COVID rules restricting visitors from entering the country. Mum Nicola, 45, said, "We are obviously distraught with what's happened to our son and are desperately trying to fly to Perth to be by his bedside." Since Saturday night we have been in touch with the British and Australian embassies, and the detective acting police sergeant who is dealing with the case. And Australian Home Affairs, governing bodies and British MPs for support and advice on what we need to do to be with Danny. We have just received approval for a 3-month tourist visa and also for exemption to fly without having to quarantine once we arrive. This has been a long 3-day process gaining all the information needed to get this far. The main sticking point now is trying to find an airline that can fly us to Perth. We have been in touch with all the airlines and have hit a brick wall, and it's looking like we are going to struggle to get a flight anytime soon. This is mainly due to the travel quota restrictions that the Australian government have put in place, limiting the number allowed to enter weekly, which has led to full planes arriving with just 15 people on board arriving into WA. We have tried every airline possible to see if there are any available flights from anywhere in the UK to Perth, but have hit a dead end, but keep phoning and trying to see if there is anything available daily, Danny's mum said. We have been helped by Emirates, Qatar Airline and Dial Flight, but their hands are also tied with the numbers allowed to fly on each flight. We are desperate to be with Danny by his bedside. That's why we are reaching out to everyone on social media to see if there is anyone out there, whether they're in the airline industry, MP, or someone who has been in a similar situation that can offer some possible advice or can help. Then please reach out to us, as we need to be with him. Nicola added, Danny is full of life and has a heart of gold. He is the most kind, gentle and positive person I know, who has a passion for life and football. Danny had played as a striker in Cumbria for Windscale and Cleator Moor Celtic football clubs as a youngster before moving to Carlisle in his teens to play for Carlisle United and later internationally for Great Britain, his mum said. A 15-year-old boy was arrested on Tuesday in connection with the attack and has since been charged with grievous bodily harm. The boy is due to appear in Perth Children's Court on September 22. Western Australia Police Force said, it will be alleged around 1:55 a.m., the victim, man in his 20s, was walking near the Perth train station when he was approached by the accused. It will be alleged, without warning, the accused punched the victim in the head, causing the victim to fall backwards. The accused allegedly fled the scene without attempting to render assistance to the victim.